Hi YouTube, it's your girl Stacy and I'm back again with yet another video. And this time I'm making my signature dish, oxtail, stewed oxtail. So let me just tell you a backstory about this love of oxtail. My son's grandmother, Marcia, bless her heart, that woman can cook, you see? She can cook. And I learned a lot of my Caribbean cooking from this woman because my mother, she didn't cook Caribbean food. She relied heavily on my grandmother, and what my mother did cook was, you know, the basics, mac and cheese and hot dogs and french fries and burgers and stuff like that, which is cool. But Miss Marcia now, oh God, Miss Marcia, she made oxtail, and I swear I have never, ever tasted a piece of meat like that, ever. And it piqued my intrigue to want to learn how to make this dish. And so this has been marinating quite some time. We are gonna get into it. And I just wanted to shout out Marcia and to say thank you for feeding my hungry belly, because anybody who knows me knows I am someone who loves to eat and who equally enjoys cooking as well. And I just wanted to do a little intro and give you a little backstory and let you know some almost 30 years ago that I learned how to make this dish. And it's one of the dishes that I'm extremely proud to make. And when I do make it, I put so much love and heart into it. And I don't do it with a slow cooker. Most people do. I just do it the way I do it, and I hope that you enjoy watching me do what I do. I'm excited to get this meal up and loaded and ready for you all to see. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna start now with seasoning up this oxtail, starting with the green seasoning. The recipe is found on my page. A little bit of brown sugar. We're going in with some oxtail seasoning, which you can get at your local Caribbean store. It's a staple in my pantry. And we got some of the Caribbean spice going in. Then I'm gonna hit these oxtails with a little bit of Italian seasoning. That's just my take on it. I like putting it in there. It's just what I do. Some black pepper, or should I say lots of black pepper, some garlic powder, and we got some pimento seeds. We have some of the adobo that I'm putting in with the bitter orange. I like it. I think orange adds great flavor to pork and beef. We got a little bit of paprika. I'm putting in a beef cube, stock cube in there, and just breaking it up with my fingers. Some crushed red chili peppers. And I'm going to hit it with some vegetable oil that allows for the spices to adhere to the meat. And then we're going in with the one full, I want to say medium-sized onion that I julienned, and I'm putting it in there. Again, it's all about the flavor. It's all about, you know, what you want your meat to absorb and soak in the meat overnight, or like I always say, a minimum of 4 hours in the fridge. And we're just going to add that to a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to stick that bag into the fridge and forget about it and get on with other things while, you know, the meat and the spices are doing what it needs to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, I forgot to pick up some browning when I was out, and truthfully, at St. Lawrence Market, I honestly don't know where they would have a store located in there to pick it up. I've looked, and they don't. It doesn't matter if you have browning or not. Honestly, this next step is what helps for me to get the nice brown color that I'm looking for. Let me just quickly note and share something with you with regards to when you take the meat out of the fridge and you begin to start your pan searing of the meat. Do not take it from the fridge and immediately put it in the hot oil. Allow for your meat to sit and get to room temperature so that the meat can cook evenly. If you take it from the fridge and you put it into the pan, the meat will not cook evenly. I learned this a while ago, honestly, from the one and only Gordon Ramsay, who I absolutely love and adore. And I realized, especially when making steaks, the man is right. Like, he's right. So, in order to get that nice brown color that I'm looking for, what I love to do is to pan sear all the meat. Sometimes I will do it twice, depending on my mood. It's not something that I typically do. In this case, I did brown each piece twice. This is a labor of love. This process, this meal takes about 4 hours to cook. An hour of it is dedicated to browning this lovely, delicious meat that you see right here. Once all that meat has been browned, pan-seared, I should say, I'm going to go ahead and brown it in some melted brown sugar that I put in a pan. As you can see, it's heating up very quick because I'm cooking it at a fairly high heat. And this is an additional layer of browning that I'm doing. Like I said, I did not pick up any browning. It's all good. It's still gonna come out nice anyway with the brown sugar. And that's why I use the brown sugar, to give me a nice, rich, dark color. So I'm just going to go ahead and gradually add those pieces and making sure to get them all covered with the brown sugar. Then I add the onions that the oxtail was marinating with into the pan. I'm going to brown those as well, get them good and caramelized. So the purpose of me doing this is to add additional flavor to the meat before I have it stewing down in some water and coconut milk. I've added some garlic into the mix. Oh gosh, you know what? It smells so good in here. I wish, YouTube can provide you with the smell, but you can use your imagination, or you can do yourself one better. You can make this at home so you can understand why there are moments I get tripped up with my words, because Lord of mercy, when I tell you it tastes nice, it smells nice, everything nice. All right, so I added some oil, my pepper, and then now I'm just gonna keep tossing and just making sure that I get everything fried up in that pot. I'm adding some water that I added to the bowl that I had the onions in, and I'm gonna actually let that boil down for a good 30 minutes before adding in my coconut milk. Look at that meat. It's not ready yet, but it looks ready. It's so deceiving. Like, it looks ready, but it's not. It's far from ready. We still have about another 2.5 hours to go. So I'm going to add a can of coconut milk and about, I want to say, enough water to cover the meat, because I'm going to let it stew down for an hour. I'm just going to leave it there. Now, typically with a pressure cooker, you do all these steps all at once, the coconut milk, the water, and your onion and your thyme and your pepper, and you just let it sit and you let it do what it has to do. I'm too afraid to use a pressure cooker. I just refuse. Going in with some green seasoning, going in with my beef stock. And this is after, we're into 2 hours now of cooking. So as you can see, everything is boiling down nicely. And at this point is when I remove the first pepper that I added to it and the sticks from the thyme, because I'm going to add a fresh batch of thyme to it, as well as a new pepper. Yes, I said another one. And being very cautious not to let the pepper bust in the pot, because I don't want it to be, spicy to the point where it's not enjoyable. It already has enough flavor and kick to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going ahead and repeating that first step and just gonna let that sit and boil. Now I added a little bit more coconut milk to it as well, about half a can. I'm eyeballing mostly everything. Forgive me if I'm not giving you all of the measurements, but you can see, like, as you're cooking, you taste and go, you taste and go. And so I did taste, and I realized it needed a little bit more oxtail seasoning, a little bit more black pepper. I'm going to hit that with some more of the adobo seasoning. And we're going in with some garlic powder. And this is another important step. Please remove the oil and all the white frothy cook up, excess stuff on the top. Remove it. We don't want it in our plate. We don't need oily oxtail. It's not something you want. So it does take a bit of time, and that's okay. This is a labor of love and dedication, and also a learning process on how you want your oxtail to taste. Now, this is something I love to do. This also helps to cut out any extra salt. If your dish may be getting too salty, throw in some onions. But I got accustomed to just adding onions to it because after the first 2 hours, the first set of onions that you had in there, they basically melt into the dish. So I'm adding some more onions to it. I added another medium size onion, and I went in again with the final pepper and a tablespoon more of my green seasoning. This is like the last 35 minutes of cooking, and I just let it sit. It's done. It's done. Oh my Lord. I couldn't even make this plate pretty, to be honest. I was like, it's 1 a.m. Let's eat. Thank you for watching. Thank you for allowing me to bring my dish that I love to make and that I make for those who are dear to me. Thank you. I wanted to say more, but I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I'm just gonna dig in. The meat fall off of the bones. I did this. I think I would have made Marsha proud, and my grandfather, because he loved when I made him my oxtail. And I know my dog Jasper, may he rest in heaven, would have been at my feet right about now, begging for a bone because it's tender. Bon appetit. So good. And you know what else? God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. Have a blessed day, y'all. Thanks for watching.